I was terrible when I first started. Like, I kept knocking down the dominoes by accident, and I was getting so frustrated to the point where, like, you know, I was 9 years old and I, like, actually started crying. What's up, Domino community? Do you like my shirt? It's a brand new shirt that I got for Christmas, and there's dominoes! Thanks to my sister for getting me that. Alright, so today I thought I'd share with you exactly how I got into building dominoes. And I know I've answered this many times in, you know, past videos and in interviews, but I've never given the super detailed story on, like, how exactly I got into building with dominoes. I thought it was about time to post something like this because I've been building dominoes for 11 years, for so long. I just turned 20 and it started all the way back in September of 2008. That's when I first started building dominoes. I was 9 years old, almost about to turn 10, and this is how I remember it. Back in 2008, I was camping with my grandparents, but since my mom's side is French, we call our grandparents Meme and Pepe. That's the French name for grandmother and grandfather. So we were in our Meme and Pepe's camper camping, and I remember opening one of the drawers and finding, you know, just various like toys or like coloring books for kids because, you know, we were young, we were kids, we needed things to do. So there was this whole drawer of items that we could play with, and in that drawer there was a box of dominoes, and I have them right here. This is the original box of dominoes. So I found this box, and it's just the normal wooden dragon dominoes, 28 pieces with the dots. It's just the classic game. And I knew about the concept of toppling dominoes back then. So I just, you know, I took them out of the box, I got some dominoes, and I just began setting them up on the counter in the camper. These are the dominoes. They're pretty small, a little bit smaller than standard size, but they're wooden dominoes, and I mean, they worked. So I just set them up. You know, I'd set up about half the dominoes in a line on top of the table, and then I would knock down the last one that's on the edge of the table and see where it landed on the ground so that I could build another line on the ground and then have the domino on the table fall off and then hit the dominoes on the ground. So it's kind of like a multi-level chain reaction. I don't know why, but I did that over and over. You know, I'd build 14 dominoes on top of the table, knock it down, it would hit the bottom ones on the ground, and sometimes it wouldn't work, sometimes it would work, and something about watching the dominoes fall just really intrigued me. It was kind of addicting watching the dominoes fall. It just looked so cool, and I just really loved watching them for some reason, so I'd keep building and, you know, making modifications as I went in case the domino didn't land on the dominoes on the ground. And, you know, I kind of loved it so much that when I got back home, I can't remember if it was like the day of or maybe a week later, but my dad was on YouTube, and back in 2008, this is when YouTube was like fairly new, and my dad knew about it, so I think he was the one who introduced me to YouTube. I knew that there were videos on there, so I thought, you know, I liked watching dominoes so much, why don't I just search in dominoes, and maybe there will be videos of people who knock down dominoes as well, and I could just watch those, you know, I won't have to spend time actually setting them up when other people might have videos. So I went on YouTube and I searched dominoes, I typed that in, pressed enter, and I found so many videos. Like, it was kind of a world, like a completely new world that I had no idea existed. Because initially I only thought that the domino effect was like you set up a domino line and you knock them down, like strictly that. I had no idea that you could even build like three-dimensional things like towers and pyramids and all these crazy structures out of dominoes. Like, to me, like, that was kind of unheard of. I had never seen anything like it before, and people were building like the most insane projects out of dominoes, and people had dominoes of different colors, so they were making pictures and making the Mona Lisa out of dominoes and spelling out words and doing all these intricate domino fields, and I was like, this is crazy. I don't know what I'm watching. This is amazing. I love it, and I can't stop watching it. So just to name a few channels, this is who I remember from way back in the day. These are the OG domino channels. Flippy Cat, He was probably my biggest inspiration with dominoes in general. I think I watched every single domino video that he made. He's so creative, and I just want to say thank you, Flippy Cat, if you're watching this, because you inspire me to build dominoes, and I'm still so inspired by all of your videos. It's just, you're amazing, and I look up to you, Flippy Cat. Secondly, I'll name some more. Anno Domino 2007, Snowball 1912, MMCO Domino, Stolen Troll 32, Domino Day Freak, Domino Fan 0803, who still builds, Domino Fan 08, Berserker Berlin, DMR Driver, Best Pal, who started Domino Chain, Domino Faz, Jim Bob Jun, Tim Domino, Jay Peccari, I think I'm saying that right, Chicago Builders, The Real Carol Boy, Great One Ols, Domino Freak 25, Domino Fan, Physics Geek 23, Nitsua Rocks, Shane's Dominoes, Shane, and so many more. Like, I'm probably forgetting a lot right now, but those are the ones that come to mind. I literally, like, not even kidding, I think I watched every single domino video up until 2008. Like, every single domino video, not even kidding, hundreds of videos. I'm pretty sure I watched them all. Like, that's how obsessed I was when I searched dominoes. After watching so many videos, I was like, I need to get more dominoes. Like, I need to try some of these tricks. Like, this is amazing, I gotta try it too. Because whenever I see something that I like or think is really cool, I always get inspired by it and want to try it. So that's what I did. So it turns out, at my house, I actually did have dominoes. But here's the catch. I didn't know they were dominoes until I searched dominoes on YouTube, and I realized, like, oh my god, these are actually dominoes. These are the dominoes I had. These are one of my first dominoes as well. They're wooden dominoes. They come in a couple different colors. And at first, like, I don't know why, but I thought these were just like building blocks that you would like stack on top of each other flat and make pyramids. I didn't even like think that they were dominoes until I finally searched dominoes, and then I made the connection. I'm like, oh my gosh, I have some, I can build projects. So I got out those wooden dominoes, and my earliest memory that I have with them is trying to build a domino line that would switch back and forth. Just a simple domino line. It's just going back and forth. And I remember, I think it was like 200 dominoes or something, but it took me so long to set up that line. Like, I kept knocking down the dominoes by accident, and I was getting so frustrated to the point where, like, you know, I was 9 years old and I like actually started crying because it kept knocking down, and then I'd have to restart, and like, I remember I had to take a lot of breaks that day as I was trying to build, because it just kept falling over, and you know, I'd start building, knock it down, I'd take a break because I was just frustrated and sad and all these emotions, and then, you know, later on I'd calm down and then go back to building and keep trying, and eventually, you know, I got the line. I finished the line that went back and forth, and I figured out how to make safety gaps. I think that's when I figured out how to make safety gaps. Don't quote me on that though. But I finally got the line, I knocked it down, and I believe it worked. I want to try and find a video of that, because I think it was my second video that I uploaded to my channel, but I deleted it, so you actually can't watch it anymore, so it might be lost. But I'm gonna check. If I do have it, I'm gonna put it on the screen right now.
Hallelujah, 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 hallelujah.
Nice, Lily.
Yeah, so that's like one of my earliest memories with dominoes, and yeah, I mean, I'm gonna admit it wasn't pretty. Like, I was literally crying because I kept knocking it down so much, but that didn't stop me from continuing to build. I loved watching domino videos, and I wanted to try it so bad, and I wanted to be able to build the structures and all these amazing projects that everyone else could do. So I just kept going. Even if I knocked it down, maybe I'll take a little breather, but I just went back to it. It was so addicting for me. It's so exciting when you first start building dominoes, because you never really know what's gonna happen with them. When you first start, you're experimenting and you're figuring out the way that different dominoes fall and spacing, And it's exciting because you can learn so many new tricks. You can do split offs, you can make fields, you can make structures, towers. There's so many variations of domino tricks. And when you're first starting out, it's like the most exciting time, but also the most frustrating time because you're learning how to deal with failure, how to persevere, and just keep going, because that's really what dominoes is all about. After that, I was obsessed with dominoes. I kept building. I'd see a video on YouTube. I remember zooming in and like screenshotting a Flippy Cat video to see how a wall was built, and I'd like zoom in to like figure out exactly how the dominoes should be placed on top of each other. And that's kind of how I learned how to build structures, just watching other videos and kind of analyzing literally domino by domino how other people made their structures. Back then there really weren't a lot of tutorials. It was very much just people posting their work and toppling dominoes. Like, that was it. Nobody showed their face. Nobody was a personality. It was just dominoes. So a lot of it came from just me testing tricks on my own, watching what other people had done, trying to replicate that, and just doing that over and over and over again until I got a really good sense of how the dominoes fell. I couldn't stop building. You know, there was always a new trick to learn, and I remember like in 4th grade, this is when I first started building dominoes, I would do all of my homework on the bus because I would have more time later on in my free time to build dominoes. Like, that was my thinking. That's just how much I loved it, and I still love it, which is amazing. If you know anyone else who loves dominoes more than I do, like, tag me because I want to meet them, if they even exist, because I don't know if you know, but I really like dominoes. Like, honestly, I think it's amazing that even now, 11 years later, I still get the same joy knocking down a domino setup and watching dominoes fall as I did way back when I was 9 years old. And, you know, sometimes, like, a couple days ago, I was getting like a headache from just being online for too much, and I needed a breather. I needed something to just relax me, and I went to building dominoes. Not because I felt like I had to make a video or I needed to build a big project, but I just built something for fun. Not even to post it, not even to record it even, just build. The act of building just like calms me down and puts me in this place where I'm like so in my zone and so focused and so like almost in a trance. It's really weird. Whenever I start building, it's like I tune out the whole world and it's just me and the dominoes. Yeah, so I just kept building. I couldn't stop. I had such an obsession with it. There were so many new tricks to learn, and at the same time I was finding other domino channels who also made videos and commenting on their videos. They would comment back and we'd all support one another in this amazing domino community. And that's kind of how it all started. I can't even believe, like, I've been building dominoes for over half my life and making YouTube videos for over half my life, because I started posting just as I started building. So my progression is documented from my very first domino setups to now being a professional domino artist, which is kind of crazy. I don't delete my old videos because I like to see and show people this is where I came from. I was terrible when I first started, you know, things wouldn't work. I'd have to keep knocking them down to continue the chain, and there was a lot of failure, but I just kept going, you know. My love for dominoes was so strong that I just couldn't get away from it. I'd always be thinking about what can I build next and how can I innovate? What am I going to design and then actually make and be able to see it topple the way that I designed? Like, that was the most exciting thing for me. Having the freedom to be creative and come up with an idea that's in my head and actually build it and see how it works, and then upload it and have other domino builders comment back on it was like the best thing in the world, because nobody that I knew built dominoes. None of my friends built dominoes. Like, I didn't have anyone to build with until 2012. That was 3 years into building dominoes. That's when I met my first domino friends through YouTube. That was at Domination 2012. And from there, it spurred something amazing, and now I'm still building dominoes. It's pretty crazy because I first got into dominoes through watching other people build dominoes. And now I'm the person who's inspiring other people to build, and it's come full circle, and that's the greatest feeling ever. I encourage everyone to give it a try. You know, if you want to build dominoes, just all you need is a pack of 28. That's how it all starts. It's just picking up some blocks and knocking them down. Sounds simple, and sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But you'll learn through it. You'll definitely get better through practice, and it's super fun. And there's an amazing community here too, who also builds dominoes. And if you build dominoes too, I would love to hear your story as well. In the comments below, share with the rest of the domino community, how did you get into dominoes? Because I'd love to hear your story. Anyways, I'm Lily /Heavish5, and I will see you next Saturday.